And of course, it's a bargaining chip. We can't sell a Ford or GM in Europe. You go to Europe, you can't sell a Ford or GM. Why? There's 100% tariffs. How about in Japan? 100% tariffs. So do you think if we said, we're going to tariff you the way you tariff us, do you think they're going to allow Mercedes and all these Japanese companies and Porsches and BMWs to all of a sudden have 100% tariffs in America? Of course not. They're going to come and negotiate, and their tariffs are going to come down. And finally, Ford and General Motors are going to be able to sell in these places.
How's that sound?
Of course they're going to come down. Of course. This is just negotiating.
So Trump is not even the president yet, and already things are starting to change across the world. You have Canada and Mexico now offering to come to the negotiating table after Trump threatened them with tariffs if they did not clean up the drug and immigration problem pouring into our country. You also have de-escalation efforts in many of the major wars that Trump promised he would bring an end to. And why is this all happening? Well, it's very simple, because the rest of the world respects America and its leadership once again. And isn't that crazy what you can do when you do not have a senile old fool or a corrupt establishment warmonger who's in the pockets of many of these foreign nations in charge? Wow, isn't that incredible? But anyways, we'll tell you all about it here today. So folks, do us a big favor. If you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe if you are new. And why should you subscribe? Because it ensures we can keep bringing you these videos. We are trying to get to 400K subs by the end of the year. Help us get there. Smash that red button. Let's bust through the goal. And here we go. So what happened? Well, about exactly yesterday. Yes, this was indeed yesterday, okay? Trump announced that he was going to be putting a 25% tariff on goods coming in from Mexico and Canada. In his own words, this tariff will remain in effect until such time as drugs, in particular fentanyl, and all illegal aliens stop this invasion of our country. Both Mexico and Canada have the absolute right and power to easily solve this long simmering problem. Okay, so a lot of people freaked out. Okay, a lot of people said, oh my gosh, tariffs are bad. They're going to raise the prices, not understanding that this was always meant to be a negotiating tool. And what happens about 24 hours later? Well, this morning, the new Mexican president said that she will be stopping the migrant caravans from reaching the border. Okay, so suddenly, oh, we're going to work with the U.S. on immigration. And Justin Trudeau apparently had a call with Trump just today where she had the following to say. Take a listen.
A good call with Donald Trump last night again. We obviously talked about laying out the facts, talking about how the intense and effective connections between our two countries flow back and forth. We talked about some of the challenges that we can work on together. It was a good call. This is something that we can do, laying out the facts, moving forward in constructive ways. This is a relationship that we know takes a certain amount of working on, and that's what we'll do. One of the really important things is that we be all pulling together on this. The Team Canada approach is what works. That's where, putting aside partisanship, that's where I reached out immediately to Doug Ford to agree with him that we would have a First Ministers meeting this week to talk about the United States. Talked with François Legault and some other premiers as well. There's work to do, but we know how to do it.
Yeah, so you can just tell by his body language and some of the things he was saying, yeah, they're gonna cave, okay? You can tell. He's like, oh shoot, we're in big trouble. Why? Because, yeah, tariffs are so bad. People say they do this and that. Ultimately, though, the truth that Mexico and Canada know is this, okay? That's going to hurt their economy more than ours, even if you get into a trade war, right? Whose economy is stronger? It's a situation both sides mutually want to avoid, but if you want to do it and they kind of have an understanding that Trump is not playing around, then yes, okay, you're going to see Remain in Mexico reinstated, but also, yeah, it's a legitimate question. We talk about securing our own border, and absolutely we should. And this is obviously a bigger problem with Mexico than Canada, although who knows, right? It seems to me maybe more stuff may be happening at the Canadian border under Biden that we don't really know about because we don't have a lot of people there, but yet still nonetheless, okay? Yes, the United States should secure its border. Yes, we should not allow people to just pour into our country. At the same time, is it not borderline malicious that a country like Mexico, that is such a big trade partner to the United States, they need our economy in order for their economy to survive. Why are they allowing this to happen? Right? Again, it's arguably malicious in many ways. Well, as you can see, that type of stuff is not going to be happening anymore. Already announcing from Mexico that they're going to do a better job on the migrant caravans. We'll see. You got to make sure they follow through. But clearly, there is already fear being instilled in this regard, and that's a good thing. Now, over in the Middle East, let's talk about the war in Israel. Apparently, a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah is set to be announced today per CBS. Now, clearly, right? Why is it that right after the election, suddenly Israel wants to de-escalate the war? Suddenly, and this is a good thing, by the way, because where it was headed, you just keep escalating and escalating this war. What was inevitably we were on the track to was a full-out war with Iran. Okay, because the more you expand the war, the more you're going to drag nations into it. That's what was coming. That's something we want to avoid. This is very good news. What's going on here? Well, again, clearly, they don't want to keep fighting anymore because Trump is just not going to be there for it. It's just the truth, okay? Similarly, in the situation in Ukraine, Putin has said that he is open to Trump's Ukraine peace plan. This is reporting from Newsweek here, Trump, who has vowed to swiftly end the war, takes office amidst Russia's strongest position in the conflict, blah, 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 according to a report in the first detailed insights into what Russian President Vladimir Putin might accept, a peace deal brokered by the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. Apparently, 5 and current former Kremlin officials suggested that the Kremlin could broadly agree to freezing the conflict along existing lines, given that Ukraine makes a pledge to not join NATO. And look, a lot of us knew that this was exactly what's going to happen. Okay, so let's not play, games about that. But it's also just so funny at the same time. It tells you so much about how much the world just disrespected the authority of Biden, did not care, right? By the way, let's remember this. How many times did Biden try to get Israel to de-escalate in the war? Remember that? He was like, okay, don't send the 2,000-pound bombs. Please don't bomb Rafah. Like, Biden made so many moves to try to, hey, don't drag Iran into it. Biden did try to do those things, but Israel had no respect for Biden. Nobody has any respect for Biden on the immigration front. Okay, was Mexico doing anything to stop the pouring of illegal immigrants into our country? No, because they didn't care, right? They just had no intention to do it. Suddenly now Putin is saying he will negotiate with the U.S. if Trump is in charge. It's just so funny. But again, it's not entirely unexpected. And if Trump couldn't stop racking up the wins, it was also announced yesterday that Jack Smith will be officially dropping the case against Trump now, given that he's going to be the sitting president. Take a listen.
Special counsel Jack Smith just filed a motion to dismiss the federal criminal case against the president-elect over his efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. The news comes after NBC News learned the Justice Department had been planning to wind down its federal cases against Mr. Trump. It also comes as NBC News learned that Smith and his team plan to resign before Mr. Trump returns to the White House.
So already, right, we're dropping the bogus political cases. Hey, United States, the foreign leaders are saying, hey, let's talk. Okay, we weren't talking for the past 4 years, but come on, let's do some negotiation, guys. You love to see it. You love to see it. Yeah, that's the Trump effect. Okay, the adults are back in the room. Remember that? Remember how for so long they said, we're going to bring adults are back in charge. We're going to bring normalcy back to our politics. Yeah, it was a total joke. We always knew that, okay? But now it's real. No respect for Biden, a lot of respect for Trump. This is exactly how it works. But with that said, guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.